Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I wanted to first thank everyone for tuning in this evening to the Power of Vision workshop with Helping Hand, brought to you by Helping Hand. My name is Wasim Paracha, and I'm going to be the host this evening, inshallah. I wanted to actually begin by going back in history a little bit, and to tell you a short story about what happened with the Caliph or the Khalifa Uthman radiallahu anh. And just a few years ago, when we were actually able to travel, my family and I, we were in Medina, and we went on ziyarah. We went to different places in Medina, and one of the places that we stopped was the well of Uthman radiallahu anh. And we stopped there, and the scholar, he was going over the history behind it, and it was so interesting to know that, and especially to know that the water is still flowing from there and it's still benefiting people. So about 1400 plus years ago, and the Sadaqah Jariyah still continues on. And so the story goes basically that there was a part of Medina, there was very little water to be found there, and there was one well that existed, and there was a Jewish man who owned the well, and he was charging exorbitant prices because he could. And so he was taking advantage of the situation, and the Prophet ﷺ asked people to, who would like to buy that well. So Uthman radiallahu anh, he went to this Jewish man, he asked him that, could I purchase that well? He refused because this was a cash cow, right? It was like a 7-Eleven making millions or lots of money for him. And so he didn't want to sell it. So Uthman radiallahu anh, he was an extremely intelligent businessman. So he said, well, what I'll do is I'll offer you half. I'll buy half of it. And so he gave him half the price. He purchased that. Now Uthman radiallahu anh, he was kind of sneaky with this, where he, on his day, he would give the water for free. And the next day, when it was the Jewish man's turn, he would try to charge money and nobody would purchase it. And so he ended up losing money, and eventually Uthman radiallahu anh bought the entire well. Few years passed, many people went to the Uthman radiallahu anh to purchase this, and he told them always and flat out that the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give me 10 times as much. And so for that reason, he didn't sell it. Now, hundreds of years later, in the Abbasi time, we're told that it turned into a date palm orchard, and many people were taking advantage of it. And then the wealth that was being, you could say, established from this waqf was reinvested. And so they kept up buying different properties in Medina. And eventually, as the city grew and the population grew, that land became more and more valuable. And today it's worth billions of dollars. It's all around the Haram, Medina itself. And so they built hotels on that land. Millions of dollars are being made from that. Until this day, Uthman radiallahu anh has an account in Saudi Arabia in his name, that is half of the money is going in Sadaqah Jariyah, and half of it's being reinvested or basically put into different projects or upkeep of the properties and all of the things as well. And subhanAllah, we really see in the Sahaba the power of vision that they had. And this is something that was very unique to them, that they had sincerity. They sacrificed everything that they had in order to raise the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala high. And because of that, a lot of these different projects still we benefit from today. And so what I'd like to do is, our project today really, I thought of this about a month ago when I was watching different videos about Karachi, and especially their situation with water there and how difficult it is. And so, and because of, global warming, there's sometimes the mafia, all sorts of different things that are happening. Because of those reasons, water is very scarce and it's difficult to get to. Women and children, many times they cannot work, go to school, do very, very basic functions of life because of not having water. They have to go in, hours a day carrying kilograms or huge bottles of water back to their homes every single day because it's so far from them. And so what I thought of doing was doing a campaign to make a water filtration plant, which is going to help about 60,000 people per month, inshallah. It's just an investment of 22,000 altogether. It's 5,000, alhamdulillah, $4,500 we've already raised. So if you'd like to contribute in any way, you could go to hhrd.org /drop of hope, and you could invest in your future and your vision, inshallah, there. Now, without further ado, what I'd like to do is introduce Sister Fauzia Shah, and she's going to be our main speaker tonight, and explaining to us how we could live a life of vision. I'm really, really excited to introduce her. Sister Fauzia has worked for many different organizations and individuals, helping build their dreams, accelerate their results, and create richer, more fulfilling lives. She is a certified life mastery consultant, holds a bachelor's in psychology, and has over 15 years of teaching experience. She is a sought-after speaker who offered transformational workshops to many diverse organizations. And without taking any more time, please welcome Sister Fauzia. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feek.
Assalamu alaikum. As Brother Wasim said, my name is Fauzia Shah, and I am a life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. And it is my honor to be able to present this power of vision for you guys today. I believe that you and I are here by divine appointment, and to honor our time together, as I do my very best to give you everything I can in the next 60 minutes, I invite you to play full out. Participate fully so that you can get the most out of this for yourself. Now, be sure that you have a paper and pencil or something to write with, as you're going to want to take some notes, inshallah. So, without further ado, let's get started. I want to tell you what my intention is for you for the end of this workshop. Number one, I want to go ahead and give you 3 tools to help you achieve your goals. Number 2, I want to help you get greater clarity on your goals and dreams. And number 3, as a result of this workshop, inshallah, you will feel even more confident in your ability. Okay. There was a mother mouse taking her children through a house when all of a sudden, as they turn around the corner, they see a big cat. The cat hungrily looks at these 3 mice and slowly starts walking toward them with her sharp teeth revealing. The mother mouse, in an effort to protect her children, steps back. She rises on her hind legs, and in as loud a voice she could muster, she says, "Ruff!" The cat gets scared and runs away, and the mother mouse turns around to her children and says, "Now, children, never underestimate the power of learning more than one language." Now, there's a language of success that you and I are going to look at today. There is a language to creating whatever you want in life. And when you understand this language consciously, you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. How many of you have an area in life that you want to improve, or a goal that you have? Invariably, when I do this in live, almost every hand goes up. Now, how many of you have ever achieved a goal that when you first started, you didn't know how you were going to achieve? Once again, almost 100% of the hands go up. What this proves is that you are capable of far more than you know. Every one of us is capable of far more than we know. What I learned during the many opportunities I've had speaking with different groups and organizations is that often our dreams and goals are born out of our challenges. It's the challenges that we're facing or the pain that we're experiencing that uh, that's that our dreams are born out of. How many of you have a goal or a challenge that you're facing right now, or a pain in your life, something that's causing you pain in your life? It could be your career, your relationship, could be amount of money that you have, or lack of time that you have to do the things you want to do. Keep your hand up if you would love that problem solved. Of course, we would all love to have that problem solved. And you see, we live in a universe that speaks to us through two growth signals: our longings and our discontent. It's the feeling of our longings for things we have not yet created, and the feeling of our discontent for our current circumstances that sparks the growth in us. These two energies, the pain of your problem and the burning desire for what you want to create, are essential for the creating new results. Let me share a little time in my life when pain pushed me to make a change. Alhamdulillah, I feel very blessed that I've been able to volunteer in my community for a long time. However, back in 2018, I made a decision to leave my full-time teaching profession to so that I can devote more energy, my full energy, to help strengthen my own Muslim local community. So I put all my heart into this. I created, or offered rather, I offered some tafsir classes. I put together some lectures on various topics. We did some summer camp, winter camps, spring camp, and sports camp, or whatever that I thought would help our community. I did that. And initially, there was some success. However, shortly after, what I realized was that there was only a few and the same families who would participate in this. I began to grow more, well, actually disappointed. While I was glad that I was able to produce something, but overall, I began feeling very frustrated. I felt unappreciated. My kids, uh, I recall them, they felt cheated out of a mom. And to be honest with you, even myself, secretly, I felt guilty of not being there for them. Didn't they deserve the best of me? Um, I thought about maybe I should just go back, because not only was I not getting the results, the kind of results I wanted to get, the kind of difference I wanted to make, I was now beginning to have difficulty making ends meet for our own self, for myself and my three children. So I contemplated going back to teaching and just taking care of ourselves, not worrying about anyone else. And I almost did that, except for something changed. I remember it very clearly. It was a Wednesday morning, calm Wednesday morning. I was substitute teaching for a high school physics teacher. His room was absolutely perfectly organized. The students were perfect. They were all engaged in the assignment their teacher had left them, and it was pretty smooth. You would think I'd be thrilled about that, how easy my job was, and it paid great too. But that's not how I felt. I felt trapped. I felt uh, first trapped and then disconnected, not only from the environment, but from my own body. I knew this is not where I needed to be. My heart was with my community. So I made a decision right then and there. I decided to make some changes. I, I would do whatever it took to strengthen my own family and community. And let me tell you, as soon as I thought that, a whole lot of fear arose in me. I felt afraid. I didn't know what to expect, and I just felt uncertain. There was a part of me that wanted to argue for why this was not a good idea, why it was not convenient, why it wouldn't work. What if I failed? And then there was this other part of me that knew that great opportunities don't come when it's convenient or when it's easy. So I let the part of me that wanted my dream win over the part of me that was afraid. So I Googled life certification programs on the internet. I found this company called the Brave Thinking Institute. I fell in love with what they were all about. So I immediately enrolled in the Dream Builder Coach certification program. This was a very rigorous program, and I went through some very intensive study every day. I studied hard, and I discovered that there's a beautiful, reliable, repeatable program that um, there's a program for creating the results that we want. Um, this Dream Builder program is based on over 40 years of study of some of the most successful people in the world and how they use 10 success principles to change their desires into their dream. So I applied these principles to my personal life. As a result, I not only became a dream builder coach within much shorter time than I was anticipating, but I went further to become a life mastery consultant. I now invest my energy and time in a career that I love. My relationships are better than ever. They're deep, meaningful, rich relationships that I cherish with all my heart. My health is better than ever. And I get to work with the clients that I love and also help wonderful people like yourselves uh, discover, design, and then live into their dreams. And this I'm able to do not only locally anymore. Now I have clients all over within our local community as well as nationally and internationally. My life is wonderful. I love my life. And I know that I would not be where I'm at if it wasn't for the Dream Builder program. Now, Dream Builder program, as I mentioned before, it consists of 10 success principles that skyrocket your results when you apply them to your life. And today, I am very grateful that I'm able to give you 3 of those that you can apply right away, right now, to help create new results that you would love for your life. So here's my promise. I will, inshallah, give you everything I can in this 60 minutes that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, some of you are going to want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. So for you, I have a gift that you're going to love that I'm going to give you at the end of the presentation. So now, are you ready? Okay, let's play a little game. On the next screen, you're going to see some numbers, numbers 1 through 50, and your job is to locate them in numerical order, starting with 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. And your goal is to find as many numbers as possible within 30 seconds that I give you. Okay, you ready? Once again, it's finding the numbers in the numerical order, the correct numerical order, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Go. Ten seconds. 10 seconds left. Stop. Okay, so raise your hand if you found 10 or more. Keep your hands up if you found 15 or more, 20 or more, 25 or more, 30 or more, 35 or more. Put your hand down if you've played this game before. 35 or more, 40 or more, 45 or more. You got all 50. Nicely done. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. On this screen, there are 4 quadrants. Number 1 is in the bottom right corner. Number 2, bottom left corner. Number 3, top left corner. Number 4, top right corner. Number 5, again, is in the bottom right. 6, bottom left. 7, top left. 8, top right. And this continues in the motion, clockwise motion. The pattern continues in clockwise motion. Okay, so now that you have the pattern, let's see if you can improve your results when you have the same resources, same numbers, and same amount of time, 30 seconds. Go. Ten seconds left. Stop. Oops. Okay. Hope you've stopped right there. So please raise your hand if you found 10 or more. Keep your hands up if you found 15 or more, 20 or more, 25 or more, 30 or more, 35 or more. Now, if you were able to see all the hands in the room, you would see that there were a lot more hands up at this point than there were last time. Okay. 40 or more, 45 or more, all 50. Great. Okay. So as I said, if this was a live room, you would see that a lot more people were able to find a lot more. So what happened? You were able to find more numbers the second time when everything else remained the same. What happened is that you now knew the pattern. You expanded your awareness of the pattern of success. In other words, patterns to getting the results that you wanted. In this case, the more numbers. Okay. Looks like I've goofed up here, guys. I apologize for this. Okay. So let's get back. I'm going to ask you guys to please lean in with me. And just give me 1 second, okay? Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very confident that you guys are with me. Okay. So what it is that basically you expanded your awareness of the pattern that was required for getting greater results. Okay. So what this proves is that when you and I expand our awareness for the pattern that is required to have better results in our life, we are able to create those results in our life. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And specifically, actually, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at increasing or expanding our awareness for ourselves, or you, in this case, in the areas that matter to you. So next, what you see on the screen is that just like the number screen, you have 4 major domains in life that you and I have results in. Health and well-being, relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. All of us have results in all of these areas, and our results are a perfect reflection of our current awareness. If we want to increase our results, we expand our awareness. So let's expand our awareness together by studying the pattern that creates the results. It begins like this. It's called the results formula, and it starts with our thoughts. Thoughts are what cause our feelings. Our thoughts lead to our feelings. And you know this. When you think of sad thoughts, when you think of scary thoughts, then let's say if you're thinking of scary thoughts, then your heart beats faster. And if you're thinking of happy, joyful thoughts, you feel happy. When you know that you have a lot to do and you little time to do, you feel anxious and overwhelmed. And when you have done some, when you think of the things that you have done so well, or your ability to, what you're capable of, you feel confident. The feelings basically cause your actions. This is by law. Every feeling has to be expressed into action. So try this on. Try to put on a position, if you will, of someone who is depressed. Now do this with me, though I can't see you. You know you can, right? So you notice that you know how to do this. You know that if you're sad, or someone who is depressed, their head goes down, their shoulders go down, and they have expressionless or frowning face. And so we know that. Okay, so shake it off. And now think of someone who feels very confident and they've just had a major success. So as you see, obviously, immediately, if you're putting on that person, immediately your shoulders, your arms, and your face, it goes up. Yeah. And then actions lead into our results. They cause our results. This is the formula. This is the results formula, the law of cause and effect. Yet most of us look at our results and our circumstances and call them our results. Or should I say, really, they're too smart for that. So they usually call their not their causes, but their be causes. They look at their circumstances, call them their be causes. So if it's like, I cannot change my career now because I'm too old. I cannot take time off from work because I don't have money, or I don't have vacation time. I cannot find the love of my life because I'm not thin enough, I'm not young enough. I cannot do this because. While all this time, the real cause for any of this is right here. It is your thought. The real cause is your thought. If you want to know what you've been thinking of, just look at your results, because your results never lie. So if we want to, now that we know that thoughts are the first cause for anything, any results that we want, so what do? New results require new thinking, where our thinking is coming from and how our minds create thought. So often we must look into this, that often we are taught to focus on what is going wrong, why something won't work, what can possibly go wrong, and such other thoughts. But if we want to change our thoughts, our results, then we must look at and focus on our thoughts. What are we paying attention to? As Henry Ford said, that obstacles are those things that frightful things that you see when oops frightful things you see when you take your focus off of your goal. So we're going to over here we're going to look at how we create new results. Okay, how do we focus, how do we change focus from our current thoughts to what we really want it to be, so that we can expand our results to into the life that we want. Okay, so I'm very blessed to be able to speak to different organizations, groups and organizations, and often when I'm finished with a presentation, people who are leading other organizations or groups will come up to me and ask if they can hire me to do some presentation for them, which I'm always delighted to do. And whenever I do go to these to present for these groups and organizations, the exercise that I'm going to do with you is one that I often, almost always do. It's one of the exercises that I do with them, and it's tuning your attention, basically. Uh, what you're going to see on the next screen is a room filled of a living room. And I'm going to give you 10 seconds actually to look around the room and find everything that is orange in color. Ready? Go. Okay. Oh. Okay. So now close your eyes and bring to your mind everything that you saw that was green. Hey, that's not what I asked you to do, right? Okay, but so how many of you saw more orange than anything else? Okay, now open your eyes and take a look at this screen again. And raise your hand if you see a lot more green this time than you did before. So why is this? Well, the answer is reticular activating system. There's a part of our brain called reticular activating system, whose job it is to mediate the overall level of consciousness or awareness for us. In other words, reticular activating system's job is to bring to our attention that which it is we're looking for, while filtering out what we are not looking for. You may have heard this: of what you pay attention to, you see. Ask, and you shall find. Okay. So, what do we want to look for? What do we want to find? That's the question that we can ask ourselves. And this brings us to our dream building principle number 1, which is we want to be very clear on what it is that we want to find. So, dream builder principle number 1 is designing a dream. Just like we need to have a clear blueprint for building a home or house, we need a clear blueprint for creating our dreams. You want to go ahead and you want to ask yourself, what do you really want? And then you want to write it down, because clarity is power. When you are clear about your dreams, then you now have access to the things, the circumstances, the resources that you would have otherwise missed. So it opens up a whole level of awareness when you are clear for what it is that you want to see, that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and design this for ourselves, for your dream. Let's consider the 4 quadrants of our life, and for our purposes today, go ahead and select one area that you would like to improve your results in the most. If you're having difficulty narrowing down, go ahead and just choose any and later on apply this exercise to the other areas. I'm going to invite you to ask yourself, what would I love in my life? This will unlock your imagination. I want to invite you to imagine like you did when you were a little kid, when no dream was too big. You imagined different futures. Sometimes you were a teacher, a doctor, an astronaut, or anything else that you wanted. So I challenge you to dream big. When we receive different answers within ourselves when we ask ourselves, what would I love, opposed to when we ask ourselves, what do I think I can do? What does the circumstance say I can do? What do other people say I can do or I should do? So right now, ask for this exercise, ask yourself, what would you love? I'm going to take you through an exercise that I call time machine. Before we do that, take that paper that you have, or a clean sheet of paper, and with that pen or pencil, at the top of that paper, write, I am so grateful, happy and grateful now that. In a minute, you're going to write everything that you have imagined, that I'm going to take you through the time machine. Okay, so put your paper pencil down and let's go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine it's 3 years from now. And everything, all the challenges are clear, all have been met. And as if you had a magic wand that you could wave and you could have, be, do, give anything you want, anything at all. Put the how on hold. We're not worried about that. Just what you want. If you could have anything you want, what would that be? If you couldn't fail, what kind of activities would you be doing? Who would be with you? How would you be feeling then there? See what you want your future, what you're imagining, see it clearly. How does it feel to be that person in your dream, of your dream? Feel it. Feel it. Okay, so you can open your eyes now. Okay, so now you go ahead and take that paper, that pen or pencil, and you're going to have 2 minutes to go ahead and write everything that you can for 2 minutes, painting the beautiful picture of that which you want, that what you imagined, what you want in that particular area that you selected. Ready? Go. Right away. Right. Now, I hope all of you are doing this. This is so valuable for you. 30 seconds left. All right, please put your pencils down. Okay. So you have now started the dream building process by defining clearly what it is that you want, or at least starting with that. You can always add more to it, inshallah. So you've started with that. You may be wondering, well, how am I going to get there? So I want to remind you that dream builders are willing to put pause on not knowing all the steps required at the beginning of their journey. Okay, we will get there, don't worry. This brings us to dream building principle number 2, deciding for your dream. Once you know what it is that you want, you've clearly defined it, now you must decide for it. The best-selling author and renowned life coach, Bob Proctor, says this about deciding. He says there's a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity, and it is called decision. We must decide. We must decide for our dreams before they can become our reality. In his book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill said this about decision making after studying 25,000 men and women. He concluded that the highly successful people make decisions fast and they rarely change them, if ever, while unsuccessful people are very slow to make decisions and they change them very rapidly. So you must decide and then stick with it. The next screen that you just got a glimpse of, we're going to go back to it. And basically, this is going to help you see something for yourself. How deciding is so valuable in getting you from where you are at to manifesting your dream. So I invite you to read the next screen with me. Okay. According to research at Stanford University, it doesn't matter what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last word be in the right place. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Now I think you could see this. Just like if you know the first word and the last word, your brain has this capacity to work through the mumble jumble of these mixed up letters. The same way, when you know where you're at, and after you make an assessment of where you are in your life in any particular area, and then you also know where you want to go, everything in the middle, your brain has a capacity to work through it. So just like being able to read the word, your brain has the ability, has a capacity to reach those dreams one step at a time. So you need not wait till you know every step. What do I do? What do I do? You just start and you make a decision. You must make a decision before your dream, before it can come true. But you know, the great thing is that once you make that decision, everything, the universe conspires actually to come to your aid, to serve you in fulfilling that decision. It's a beautiful process Allah has blessed us with. Let me share a story of an old story of a man who takes he has a check that he wants to cash, so he takes it to the bank, asks the teller if he can get this check cashed there. The teller says, yes, I can cash it for you. Just sign the check in the back and I'll give you the money. When the guy hears this, he feels uncomfortable. He says, oh no. He says, if I sign it and give it to you, you'll have my check with my name on it and you may not decide to give me the money. You may keep it. So the teller says, no, sir, you just need to sign it. This is our bank policy and I'll give you the money. The guy hesitates further and says, but I'm not comfortable. He repeats the same thing. You may not decide to give me my money. The teller assures him that I will give you, I promise I will give you the money. Just sign the check. The guy still doesn't accept, and he still hesitates. And he says, please, just this one time, just go ahead and sign my, just go ahead and give me the money, and I promise I'll sign the check afterwards. So the guy gets tired of this, and he says, sir, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. You're just going to have to leave. So the guy takes his check and goes to the next bank down the street. The same thing happens there. He doesn't get his check cashed. So he goes to a third bank down the street. Same conversation takes place there. He's not comfortable. He doesn't want to sign it. And the other person, the teller, is saying, you must sign it. Finally, this young teller at the third bank has had enough. So he reaches under his counter and pulls out a rubber baseball bat and whacks the guy in the head and says, sign the darn check. So the guy said, so this guy quickly signs the check and hands it over and gets his money. With his money in his hands, he goes to the first bank and walks up to the teller and says, well, down the street, I got my money. The teller says, yes, but I bet down the street you had to sign the check too. So the guy says, yeah, but the way no one explained it to me the way they did. So, it's a funny story, but the reality is at some level, it's my story, it's your story. We go to the bank of the universe, and we go to our imagination, we go to our dreams, and we say, this is what I want for my business. This is what I want. This is, what I want for my health or my relationship. This is what I want, and then we describe it. And the universe, or our life rather, whichever way you want to call it, the way Allah has bestowed this at our service, is that life says, great. So go ahead and sign the thing that you say you want to have, and you become that what you said you want, and then we'll cash your check. But then we're afraid at that point. We say, no. First, you give me the resources. First I have to, or give me. I have to have the right amount of money. The situation. I have to have more time for this. My relationships have to be this way. All kinds of things that we are looking for circumstances to be right before we can go ahead and sign our name to it. We will not make, in other words, we are not making that decision for our dream until we think we know all the steps to it. So, like that check, we cannot get the check cashed, or the check, or our dream. We cannot cash our dream without deciding for it. We must be willing to sign our name to the thing we want and take action in the absence of knowing all the steps, and if we want to have that dream. This takes us to dream building principle number 3. Now you've designed your dream, you've decided for your dream. So what then? Now, Dream Builder Principle 3 has to do with something that blocks us, or has a potential of blocking us as soon as we want to go forward with our dream, and that is fear. So the Dream Builder Principle 3 is befriend befriending your fear. So, there's a part when you decide, there's a part of you that says yes to your dream. Yeah, like that. And then there's this other part of you that says, yeah, right. Or it's like, what if I fail? What if I fail? There's a voice in you. And I want to ask you, as you were writing your dream, as I was talking to you, how many of you have already thought of that heard from that voice saying, that voice of practicality, you know, that voice that says, I want to protect you. It never comes out and says that I'm here to kill your dreams. It says I'm here to protect you. I want to keep you safe. I want to make sure you never get hurt like that again. I it even tells us is that it's irresponsible for us to think that, to want to do this for ourselves or whatever, you name it. It has 1,001 excuses for why we shouldn't do it. And then the biggest of all, what if you fail? And the question is, what if you fail? You see, you and I know that we all have failed. Okay? Big deal. When you and I were babies, we didn't know how to walk. We saw other people who had a certain level of freedom that we also wanted. So sometimes it might be just a cookie or a toy that we wanted somewhere else, and we saw other people getting up and getting it, but we couldn't. So it was just that drive, that little dream, that focus, the goal that we had. We wanted to get up and we wanted to go walk that way. So we took our everything that we had and we got up and we took our first step, or we thought we did. And what happened? We fell. So we got up again. We took a few more steps and we fell again. Never once did we say, oh, well, I guess I'm not meant to be a walker. No, we continued. With a little more steps, a little more and a little more and a little more till we became a walker. What happens is that when we, as adults, we forget to give ourselves permission to fail. Now it's as if we are afraid to fail. If we fall down in love, so we think, okay, well, love is not in the cards for me. If we fail in business, we say, well, I guess I'm not meant to be a business owner. You name it, this or that, whatever. We are really ready to quit as adults. But we want to remember, great dream builders are willing to fail and rise again. Allama Iqbal, my guess is that most of you know, if my understanding of my audience is correct, I think you guys know this person, mashallah. But before he became the Allama Iqbal we know, he tirelessly worked to propagate the true spirit of Islam for 28 years before he finally before that understanding became the basis of an independent Muslim country we call Pakistan. Imran Khan, he fought for justice for more than 2 decades before he became the prime minister of Pakistan. And we finally have hope. Ilhan Omar, she was 2 when she lost her mom. She was shipped from a refugee camp to another refugee camp. Then she spent many years fighting fighting and failing small battles for justice for 24 years before she became U.S. representative. Habib, we all know him too. He intensively trained in harsh conditions for 12 years before he began defeating everyone he fought over the next 12 years. Fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. When fear arises, what can you do? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? We want to be befriended. Okay, then what? Okay. There's a whole process that I take my clients through in the Dream Builder program. But for our purposes here, I'm going to do one thing, and that is I'm going to take you through one step, one process that will definitely work for you, inshallah. And that is reconnect to your dream. When fear arises, when you are having some limiting thought that blocks your dream, it's like, oh, I can't do it, or this, whatever it is, the fear thoughts are coming, put a pause. Put a pause on it, immediately go to your dream, and remember that it is an abundant universe that has the capacity to fulfill any dreams of any size. So go back to your dream and take one action step in the direction of your dreams. So there's always something. You do it right away. And the minute you do it, what you're doing is you're telling yourself and you're telling the universe how serious you are about your dream. You are not going to let anything in the way. You're going to go forward. And I really want to take a moment really quick, although this is not a religious workshop, but we do know this. We have a perfect example for ourselves in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know that if he had ever let fear in his way, there is no way we would have had Islam. Time and time over and over again, he overcame it by staying connected with his dream, which was to spread the message of Islam. So he had a dream. He did it. He embraced it every step of the way. You and I need to do that every step of the way. Keep taking action in the right direction, in the direction of your dream. Now, it's important for us right now to stop for a moment. I would like you to think about the dream that you imagined up right now a few minutes ago, and ask yourself, what is one action I can take that could move me in the direction of my dream? Don't let yourself off the hook. Do it right now, and then schedule it too. All right, I'm pausing for you to write that right now. There's always something, always something, as little as it may be, but there's something that you can do. And remember, perfection is not the key here. Progression is. So keep progressing, even if the step seems really small to you. One step at a time. You will get there, inshallah. So what is one action step you can take in the direction of your dream today? Okay, so I would like to, at this point, ask you for what you have heard. Actually, some of you are going to want to take this further, and so I had promised you that I would give you a gift at the end of this presentation. And I'm going to do that right after this. First, I want to go ahead and recap for ourselves what we have covered right now. Actually, before we even did the principle number 1, designing your dream, we played that number game to recognize and realize for ourselves that there is a pattern of success to everything for creating any results that we want. There is a pattern of success. Okay, and then principle number 1 of dream building is designing your dream. You want to make sure that you have a very clearly defined dream. Principle number 2, deciding for your dream. We must decide before our dream, before it can ever come into reality. and we must decide in absence of knowing all the steps. Principle number 3, befriending your fear. So fear is inevitable. It is our constant companion. And the more you're willing to fear, the more success you will have. Okay, so now the gift that I had promised you. Between my coaching, speaking, and training schedule, I carve out some strategy sessions for strategy sessions every week. The strategy session is a 30 to 45 minutes conversation over the phone where you and I get together and we discover your dream. We look at what we design, you basically, your dream, help you basically clarify your dream and also figure out what the next possible steps you can take in the direction of your dream. So clarify and then possible steps you can take. It's a very valuable strategy, gift actually, that is valued at $250. But today for you, I'm not, like I said, this is a gift for you. And if you are interested in moving forward with your dream, you'd like this help from me, I'm more than happy to give this to you. And here is how you do this. You can email me at eaglequestcoaching@gmail.com. All you have to do is in the subject line, write strategy session, and then I will get back to you and we'll arrange for the time that works for both of us. Now, I'm going to close, and I just would like to share this story of William H. Murray. I'm not going to bore you with a long story, but here it is. Basically, he was a mountain climber who was, when asked to go on the expedition, well, he was asked to go on an expedition. They usually went together. He asked how much would it cost, because in those days they had to pay their own way up. So he asked his team or captain of that team that asked him, he asked how much would it be. The captain told him how much it would cost for him to go on the expedition, and he said no, he wasn't able to do it, so he didn't do it. 2 years later, the same captain came again and asked him, William, I really want you to go with us. I think we could do, we went further last time. We can still, I think we could do this. Come with us, come with us. So William asked the same question again, how much? How much will it cost us? The captain told him the price or the cost, and William said, I can't do it. So he declined again. So captain left, and then the third year, again, the captain comes back and he said, William, I really want you to come with us. We went last time and we went further than ever, and I know we're going to do it. I know we're going to summit the Everest, Mount Everest. So I really want you to come. So William says something different happened. Something happened this time. He said, I asked a different question this time. Instead of asking him how much, I asked, what's the deposit? So the captain told him the deposit. This person, the William, paid. He felt that he could pay up the deposit, and he made that deposit. Now he had no idea how he was going to pay for the rest of it, but he did it. He made that decision. So eventually, of course, they did go, and they did summit the Mount Everest that year. And later on in writing about this, William says this to us. He says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, and always ineffectiveness. Something that we can take, with us. He also says, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Okay. And there's something that I want to share with you from me. That is this. Your dream is a gift from Allah. It is the seed of greatness that Allah has placed within you. It is the seed of joy that abounds and witnesses the glory of Allah. As Muslims, you and I know that our job here is to witness Allah's glory. What better way is there to witness Allah's glory than to bring abundance out of lack? And this is not only in money I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything. To bring joy out of depression. So when we, of course, this is not without Allah. None of this happens without alignment with Allah. But when we do align with Allah, the results our success is limitless. So I want to call you guys, you all, to dream and dream big, because your God is big. My God is big. I hope you guys benefited. I hope you will apply this to your life, inshallah, and go as high as you can. Thank you so much for your time. I really am grateful for this opportunity to share this with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. I wanted to thank Sister Fauzia for that amazing workshop, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her and her family for her dedication for this. And there's so many things that we could take from this. And one of the things, at least one thing I'm going to do tonight, is go jogging right after this. So that was one of the things that I was thinking about through this presentation. But if we can just think about, as Muslims, if more of us were thinking along these lines, and because this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, in fact, right? He was a dream builder, and he planted the seed amongst the Sahaba, where they took this mission and kept going with it. And that's a beautiful thing about this deen, that if we align ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through dua, and we have these amazing goals, and we ask and beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then inshallah the barakah will come. It's like the barakah effect, you could call it. And I wanted to just end with this, that one of the things that I've been doing, alhamdulillah, is I set certain goals for myself, and then in the morning in Salatul Duha, I pray, and then in each sajda I make a dua for that quadrant of my life. For example, in finance, the second sajda is for the akhirah, the third is for deen, what I'd like to accomplish in that, I guess, matter over here, and then fourthly, health wise. And so I make dua for myself, for my family, and other people. And alhamdulillah, just a few months of doing this, I felt so much more barakah in my life. I see so many things happening, alhamdulillah, that I didn't really think or imagine how they could happen. And so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us live this amazing life with ihsan, as muhsineen, as people who strive to be the best, and amongst the best, and amongst the companions, inshallah, of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With that, I'd like to end. Jazakumullah khairan for tuning in tonight and giving us your time. Again, the link for the water filtration plant is hhrd.org /drop of hope. We're at about 5,000 now, alhamdulillah. Please tell your family and friends about this, and so that we could get this goal, inshallah, and help 60,000 people per month. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.